Hey guys, Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. Three big boxes to share with you, a slightly bigger than yesterday. I got quite a few magazines to share with you, and of course comic books and some doozies as well. But before we get there, guys, I thought it'd be cool to talk a little bit about how to sell your books. It's one thing I get almost every week at the shop. I have guys coming in saying, Kevin, what do I do? I've got this collection I want to sell. What do I do? And most people will say, oh, you got to use eBay or, what have you. And, a lot of people do go to eBay, but eBay has its challenges, has its risks, has its problems. And other than that, you have the big three, I guess you could say, Heritage auctions. You've got, Comic Link and Comic Connect. And there's another one too, I think I'm forgetting. But there's these auction houses you can go to as well. But their fees can be sometimes quite onerous and quite high as well. Well, someone you probably already know is here today. Dave from Comic Book Investments is here. I'm going to bring him on right now. Dave, how's it going?
How's it going?
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. I've been watching your channel, and I think I said this to you, if you recall, when we met in San Diego. I watch your channel because, you either make me very happy or very sad, and I think that's probably the way it is for most guys who watch. Usually they see a picture of a book that they have, and then if it's trending down, you're like, no, if it's trending up, you're happy.
Yeah.
And I zip through your video really quickly, and I look at all the ups and downs and hear what you have to say about it oftentimes too. And you become, I think, a mainstay now on YouTube. Guys, really, I hear your name brought up quite a bit.
That's good. Hopefully positive stuff.
Oh yeah. Again, your channel was quite popular and everyone's talking about it. And you become a recognizable, I guess, member of our comic book community. So thanks for all the work you do, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it'd be great to have you on here to talk to my subscribers, my followers, about a service you've been offering for quite a while. And I thought, hey, why not pump it as well? It's another, you're a trusted face and a trusted person in our community. And if you have a service that could benefit people when they're trying to move their comics, then what the hell? So first of all, for those who don't know who you are, maybe tell us a bit about yourself, and then let us know about your awesome service that you have, this website you've got.
Yeah, so I'm David from Comic Book Investments. I've been on YouTube for, I don't know, 3-4 years, at least the comic side. I have a music YouTube that I've been on for like 13 years or something. And then
we'll talk about that in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I've been doing videos. I used to, at one point I did a video every single day for 1.5 years, and I am not doing that again.
A lot of work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. But I have a comic book. So I grew up around comics my entire life. My dad was a huge comic book dealer, one of the biggest in like the 80s and 90s. He sold his business in like early 2000s, and then me and my brother started our own comic book dealing business in 2009. And then I think around 2015-ish, we decided to create our own website. And so we've been adding to our website over time. And basically what our website is it's similar to like Heritage and eBay combined. So we run our own auctions, so collector comics type auctions, similar to Heritage, and people can send us consignments where we will, put in the auction for them. And, we don't have any buyer's premium. So we're only 5% seller's fee for that. Like a lot of times, like Heritage, it's like they'll say like, oh, we're 5 or 10% seller's fee, but then they add the buyer's premium, which is another 20%. So you're really losing 30%. So we're just 5%, no buyer's premium. But if you want to sell your own books, it's 100% free. Like you just upload the pictures and you put them on our marketplace. We don't take anything from that at all. And then for certain people, which is free to do, you just have to request it. You can become like a level 2 seller, and you can run your own auctions similar to eBay, and you run your own weekly auctions just like eBay, and that's free as well.
Wow, it's free. That's the word I'm really liking, is the word free. Yeah. And guys, Dave's right. When you sell through like these big auction houses, and I'm not saying not to. I've had Comic Link at my shop. They've come in, they've picked up books for you guys and sent them in. And I think their rate is 10% is what they usually offer people. It can be very expensive. A lot of times it's hidden fees in there, and all of a sudden, before you know it, 30% is gone. So when I hear free, I'm really digging that a lot. Do you have to be computer savvy, Dave, to do this? Like you have to be pretty, handy with the computer to get on there and run your own auctions?
So if you want to list like a CGC graded book, all you have to do is type in the serial number and it will pretty much list everything for you, all the details, the title, all that kind of stuff. Um, so, I mean, I guess have to be as savvy as like eBay.
Right.
So if you can list on eBay, you can pretty much list on our site. Also, if you have an eBay store, we have a button that you can press where it automatically takes your entire store and lists it on our website. So you don't have to relist everything. And then it's pretty easy. And then also, if you list anything on our website, you can click a button and automatically link it to your eBay store. So because we understand eBay is so huge,
Right.
and so we don't want to just like, hey, you can't list on both like a lot of places do. So it says all you have to do is click a button and you can export it to eBay. You can also change the price on our website and it'll automatically change it on eBay as well.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. How long did it take to get that all working? My gosh, I can't imagine what that cost.
It's
Like,
we have spent
yeah,
over $1 million on our website so far.
shut up.
I know, it's crazy. Well, we've been doing it for since 2015, I think is when we first started.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty much any money we make, we just put into the website. So that's what we've been trying to really build this thing out.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, you know what? And an honest question. How's it going? Like, how many members are on there now? How many subscribers do you have to the channel? And are sales happening feverishly? Is it like the community growing? Like,
so we're definitely growing. We run our auctions every quarter. We also have a PSA select auction where it's just PSA stuff that's happening kind of same time as our quarterly featured auction.
Right.
So yeah, we're always growing. We're always getting more users. Like the hardest thing is just getting people to know about us. Usually when they know about us, they like us and they use us, but that's the hard part. And the interesting thing about comic book people is when they find someone they like, or at least somewhat like, they they refuse to go anywhere else. They're like, oh, if they really like Comic Link, and they're like, oh, I love Comic Link. It's like they'll never use anyone else. So it's like it's almost like we have to find those people that know about us and have been burned by all the other ones, and then they're like, oh, I'll give you a shot.
Yeah, as a presser, I understand how that is for sure. That's for sure. Well, that's good. It sounds like a great service. I mean, I don't sell. I'm a hoarder. I keep everything, and I have stuff. I have stuff for sale. I throw it at the shop, and I'm only open once a week at my shop. And sometimes stuff sells, and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes I have second thoughts and take it down off the wall and put it away. I'm not an avid seller, a very busy seller. So for me, unfortunately, this service at this moment in my life is not. But my gosh, it sounds fantastic. The fact that it's free, I love. And if you do the work, it's 5%.
Yeah. So if you send it to us, we take pictures, we list it all. We sell it, ship it to the new buyer, handle the money, and then send you the money and everything like that. So that's where we'll take our 5%.
So you have to send the books in. You have to have them on right. Okay.
Yeah. So similar like Comic Link, Heritage, and all that kind of stuff.
Right. You have to receive the books. What was I going to say? Okay. I'm in Canada. You know what's going on right now? All kinds of. And first of all, do you have a lot of Canadian clients? That's another question. And have you dealt with any of this over the border stuff that's been going on as of late? The tariffs and all the.
So most people I found, I don't know, I just get the books, and I only had one person that I had issues with like tariffs.
Right.
But everyone else that sends from Canada, I don't know. I never have any like issues whatsoever.
Okay.
So I always tell people, I'm like, mark it low and, mark it as like a gift or something like that. And that usually does the trick. So that's like, yeah.
Well, I tell my clients that too. When I send books to CGC or PSA, or when they're sending books back to me, even if it's an AF-15, it's $5. It's a $5 book. And that seems to solve that problem. Well, that's good. So again, I've got a lot of American viewers as well, but for you Canadian viewers, another option, friends. Another option.
So what we have one customer, he's in Canada. What he does is he sends his books to CGC and then has us as the return to sender. So he doesn't have to pay any duties or fees. So it comes straight to us. We list everything.
Right.
The way we do it, if we house the book and you want it up, like let's say you don't want to put it in an auction and you just want to put it in like our marketplace and try
Yeah.
to sell it. And since we've been with eBay for so long, we get a better rate than most people.
Right.
So we'll put it, if they request it, we'll put it in our marketplace and we'll put it on eBay. And the way we work is we'll have it for 3 months. And the ones that don't sell, then we put it in our next following quarterly auction. Just because if we didn't do that, we'd end up having thousands and thousands and thousands of other people's books that's sitting around forever. And there's like more liability. It takes up more space, all that kind of stuff. So that if you want us to house it, we will, and we'll try to sell it, but we can't house it forever.
No. So to make this clear, so if I have a client so I submit tons of books every month, but if I've got a guy who wants to sell his books, he's got 25 really nice books and he wants to sell them. He gets in touch with you guys work it out. I can have the books returned to you directly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then boom, it's done. So there you go, guys. Other option too. If your main goal is to sell your stuff, and we're grading the books, we can send the CGC to be graded, but then we can have them forwarded directly to Dave and his people in San Diego, right? You're out in San Diego, I believe.
Yep. In San Diego.
Yeah.
I love it here.
Yeah, I bet. You guys, $1 million on that website. I was going to say, please adopt me. I'll come out to San Diego too.
Yeah, it's every once in a while we'll add it all up how much we spent. And we're like, oh my god.
Hey man, I just changed a little thing on my website, and my website's garbage. Like compared to yours, mine's old and crickety and terrible. $3,000 I spent, and it's crazy. Websites can really be painful. You got a couple of questions here.
Okay.
From Hector, and these are guys I think who've actually you've got a lot of people saying how great your service is already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Hector says, "Hey Dave, will you keep doing those longer researched historical videos that are so cool?"
Yes. So some people may or may not know, I have 2 channels now. I have my comic book investments, and then I have my comic book investments Unhinged, which is more of like I started maybe like 3 months ago. The Unhinged, I'm just going to put like random stuff on there. It's like, oh, I did a movie review, or I want to rant about something,
Sure.
or, just my comic books going up and down, just like off the cuff, no real plan. My comic book investments, my main channel, I'm doing more of like lists and like just more like, I guess, pricing on things, but just it's a little different. If you've seen the recent, maybe like 10 videos, they have like a theme. So I'm trying to keep a theme on that, but I am going to start a 3rd channel where it's just going to be simply comic book long form documentaries, because that's what I love doing. I already have, I filmed an entire one, a Superman one, and I was going to have it out before Superman.
Whoops.
And literally I lost the footage, lost it, because I have like 3 different computers. So a lot of times I'll transfer, and I was trying to edit it, and then all of a sudden I accidentally deleted it off my Google Drive and didn't realize that I didn't transfer it over to my other computer. So I was like looking everywhere for it. And now I'm like, I have to redo the whole thing because it takes like an hour to read these scripts.
Yeah.
So, and I get very tired. So I'm like,
do you have a teleprompter?
No. Usually what I do is I kind of key out where I'm going to speak to the camera.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times I'll have like graphics or like maybe videos playing or pictures. And so I kind of figure out where I'm going to like show my face. So then I have to memorize those lines, but all the other ones I just read from a piece of paper.
Oh man, grab a teleprompter. They're awesome. I got one right here. They're fantastic.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm so bad at it. I'm just like, I don't know. It'd have to be, I don't know. Like I can't even memorize one sentence. It takes me so many tries, just one sentence to memorize it. Because I'll type it up and I'm like, oh, this is how I want to say it. And then it's just like, it's just so weird because normally when I say stuff, it's all off the cuff. I hate using scripts.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that's the thing. That's why it's taking so damn long. Because you're stopping, you're doing it again. You're stopping, you're doing it again. You're stopping, you do it again. And I had enough of that. So
yeah,
man. I used to. I did a lot of theater in my day. I used to memorize scripts all the time. Now I can't memorize. Like you said, my brain is so busy. I could never get back on stage again. I couldn't remember probably a sentence anymore.
Dude, the worst is sometimes I forget the lyrics to my own songs that I wrote. So I'll be on stage singing and I'm like,
I'm
like, well, how does this song go? What is the next part? And I just have to like, a lot of times I hope it just happens. But a lot of times I've been on stage where I completely forgot and I'm like, I don't even know what song this is. But I can always play it. I can always play it perfectly, but I can never, like, when it comes to like singing and memorize, I can't sometimes. It's just like it's gone.
Okay, you gotta plug your. Okay, now you're on Spot. I've heard you on Spotify. I've looked you up. You're kind of like a now. It's been a while, but it's kind of a country rock kind of a flavor to it, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't. I just kind of write songs that I like, and so some songs sound kind of a little more country, some a little more pop punk, but I would say it's in that like pop country pop punk genre, somewhere in there. So,
Right, right. And if they're looking for you on Spotify, what are they looking for? What do they look at? Just your name?
Love Angeles.
Love Angeles, like
Yeah.
Los Angeles, but Love Angeles.
Yeah.
All right,
It's
so guys,
yeah.
check it out. Give them a follow on Spotify. It helps. It helps.
Yeah. So I had probably so I have like ASCAP, which is basically kind of like they collect royalties for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That play on radios, movies, TV shows, all that kind of stuff. Normally I get like $2 or $3 per quarter. And so then I got a check and it was like $250. I'm like, whoa, I've
What the
never
hell?
gotten anything close to this much. And I looked it up, and this is the first time it's ever happened. This is a couple weeks ago. I looked, and apparently my music is playing in like movies and TV shows in the radio, like all around the world, like all these random countries, like India, Hungary, like, and I'm
What
like,
the hell?
but nothing in America.
So that means you got to tour Europe, man. You got to go.
Tour India.
Sure, tour India. Why not? But that's crazy.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty.
they just take it. So when you sign up to the to this rights, I've heard of that company before, that organization.
ASCAP, yeah.
Before. Yeah, ASCAP. So when you sign up, they have the right to shop your music, or are people just grabbing your music and putting it in their movies?
No, they basically, if people use my music, they find out and then they get the royalties for me.
That's
So
great.
it's kind of nice because it's a free service. It's basically like, it's almost like a union type of thing. I mean, it's not a union, but it's something where it's just like they want to make sure that I register all my music with them, but they want to make sure that the artists are getting paid and the songwriters and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, in Canada it's called SoCan. That's what they have up here, I think, up in Canada.
SoCan,
I believe. Now, my daughter's a singer too. She's on Instagram, on Spotify as well, writing her own music too. It's crazy. It's fun. It's fun. You got a lot of comments here. Louis Mendoza says, I bought many books from comic book investment auctions, and every transaction has been super smooth. All the packaging of the books has been bulletproof. Highly recommend. There you go.
thank you.
Dan Ansiri says, love to see Dave's debut on the Comic Doctor channel. Comic Book Investment is a great channel, especially if you like to approach your books as an asset or an investment. That's cool. Mikey says he only came in tonight for a rant. I ranted last night pretty good, Mikey.
Yeah. So usually when I rant, I'll be like so everything's off the cuff, and then I can literally feel like it boiling, like this rant coming, and I'm always like, I'll try to like stay on topic, but then eventually it's like it just overtakes me. I'm like, okay, I have to rant about this. So like that would be a lot of times I'll rant about something.
Yeah,
like,
been there, done that. I could name some topics right now. We'd rant for 30 minutes, but you got to go. I don't want to keep you longer than you have to be. Here's an interesting one. Bad Hombre asked this. This is a question. Are your CGC comic sales linked to GP analysis?
Yes, they are.
There you go.
They're linked on Go Collect, GPA. A lot of times, both of those places though, like always have like. So it's not just unique to one of them. They always have kind of like issues a lot of times, and they'll be like, oh, like these didn't link. So like sometimes sales aren't on there, sometimes they are, like, but they usually are. We are linked with them, but I think they're always like changing like their back end, and so it's like it's not like they're gonna let us know, and so then something happens.
Right. Well, that's cool. That's good to know. All right, so there you go. So they are recorded, but whether they're using it or not.
Yeah. So we also have like live sales too. So if you go to their live sales, we're supposed to be on there, but a lot of times we'll like follow up with them like, hey, our live sale, oh, sorry, we were doing something. And then so it's like we have to like, it's constant. I'm not a developer type person, so I let my web guy handle it. So yeah.
And understand why GP analysis still doesn't have images. Come on.
They are, yeah.
That's the one thing that I don't like about it. But
yeah, I personally use the GPA the most because it's so quick to go through compared to like Go Collect. But in terms if I was like more of not like a dealer where I had to look up 1,000 books a day, Go Collect is much more consumer friendly.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, but I like GP setup as well. But the pictures would be nice. Sometimes there's so many different titles of this that are the same. You're not sure if you get the right one or not. And I just want to see an image of it. We got we got 9 Point Manu's here. How you doing, Manu? Good to see you.
He agreed with me on something.
Did he?
Yeah, he
I think I
posted a
saw
video
that,
or
yeah.
something.
Very
He
nice.
agreed
Flags
with
is
me.
here too. The whole gang's here. Dave's videos are money when he goes off script. Jeez, look at that. They are kind of funny.
What do you think about the PSA 10s with like CGC? Like there's been I want to hear your opinion. I obviously have my opinion, but I'm curious on your opinion now that there's PSA 10s out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're familiar with PSA with their cards, but
I'm learning. I'm learning. What do I think it's fine. I think what I like about PSA, and I've said this before, is they're kind of treading their own path. They're just like, we're doing our thing, and I love that. Put the 10s up because some books are 10.
Yeah. So for years I've been so frustrated with CGC that I just kind of gave up, and everything's a 9.8. I don't even I like, I'll get books in and I'm like, ooh, can this be a 10 or a 9.9? I don't even care. Like I never even bother anymore because so many books I'll send in and I'll have like literally like the exact same book and I'll be like, it's like all 9.8s. I'm like, this 9.8 is clearly way better than this 9.8. So I'm like, I'm not saying it's a 10, but that's why you have a 9.9. And it just makes me so upset that they will not fix anything. And I know why they do it. I'm getting on a rant right now.
There you go. They wanted the rant, so go for it.
I know why they do that. They do it for one reason, because they know in the end, comics are a finite thing. Once you grade all the comics, there's nothing left to grade except new stuff. So if they want to be in business for a long time. So they're like, okay, let's start releasing a few 9.9s. So then everyone cracks out the 9.8s, hoping to get a 9.9. And eventually all the 9.9s will be done. And then they're like, okay, let's start releasing some 10.0s. And people say when I say 10.0, but 10s. And then everyone will crack out their 9.9s, hoping to get a 10. And that's what CGC's long game, that's what we want to be in business for 100 years. But then PSA comes along and goes, well, if the book deserves it by our standards, we'll give it a 10. And then now CGC is like, oh, well, we're going to loosen our grading a little bit and start giving out 9.9s. I'm like, so before you're artificially tightening them, which was what I thought the whole time, so stupid. It's just like, if the book deserves it, give it to it. Just give it the grade.
Yeah.
And it's, oh, man.
And I don't know if you recall this or not, but early on with CGC, they used to say, we recommend reslabbing your books every 5 years because the carbon paper, the neutralizing paper becomes inert after 5 years. So we want you to, that was their idea. People are going to send them back to be reslabbed. They're going to, yeah, sure. No one who the hell does that. Right. Never happened.
A crack or something. Sure.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, it always aggravated me too. I've sent in so many books. I mean, how many 9.9s? I've sent in thousands and thousands of books. Talking like Bronze Age and back, I've had maybe one 9.9. And it made the book go from a $800 book to a $9,000 book. It's stupid. It's stupid.
So we send in roughly about 300 books a month and been doing that for over a decade. And I've gotten one 10.0, and that was on a Last Ronin square. Oh, sorry, two 10.0s. That was the Batman Damned and Last Ronin, both square bound books. I've gotten maybe 4 or 5 9.9s out of all those books, out of all of them. And some of them just one time we sent in, this was a long time ago, but we sent when Walking Dead was like still new, the TV show. We sent in what we thought was a 9. We sent in a 9.8 and a 9.6. That's what we thought it was. The 9.8 came back a 9.8. The 9.6 came back a 9.9. Nice. I know. I couldn't believe it. We saw that a long, long time ago.
That's a miracle.
But, yeah, I know. It makes me so mad. I'm like, if the book deserves, Ultimate Fallout 4, what is there? Thousands of books in a 9.8? Thousands? And I've seen so many that are gorgeous, but I never once ever thought I'd get a 9.9. Now they release, just this one's a 9.9. It's like, you got to be kidding me.
No, I talked to, I think, Swaggelhaus and Manu about this a long time ago when they started kind of releasing the 9.9s. And, that's it's ridiculous. No, you've established already for the last 20 years how things are. You can't now change the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
That's bullshit. You can't. You got to stick. And they shouldn't change the rules now because PSA is doing what they're doing. CGC should still do what they're doing, right? It's like, I don't know cards, like you said, but the Beckett 10s are pretty sought after, apparently. The Beckett 10s, right?
Yeah. So So Beckett is CBCS,
Yeah.
right? They're the same company.
Right.
So the way PSA works with their 10s, they don't have anything higher than 10. They don't even have a 9.5. They have the 0.5s up until a 9, and then it just goes to a 10, I believe. But anyways, their 10s does not have to be perfect. Even says on their website. So centering is a big thing with cards. It's all about centering. Well, they're one of 4 things. And they even says on their website, the front centering can be a 45-55. That means 55% on one side of the border, 45 on the other. So by that definition, it is not a perfect card. But 10s go for quite a bit. Now, once you get to Beckett, the way they grade is a little different. But a 9 in a Beckett is worth less than a 9 in a PSA for the same card.
Right.
But a 9.5 in a Beckett is worth about the same as a 10. But if you have a pristine 10, which means you get the 4 subgrades, basically, corners, centering, surface, and edges, and they're all 10s, that is worth probably, depending on the card itself, but it could be worth anywhere from 4 to 10 times what a PSA 10 is worth, because that is a perfect card.
Right.
Perfect. While PSA, a 10 is really like a 9.5 on Beckett scale. But if you had like a Beckett 8 and a PSA 8, the PSA 8 will always sell for more, always, by a long shot. Because it's weird. They're looser on the higher end, like the very top end, but tighter on everywhere else. So it's very interesting.
It's tough for the newbies coming in, though. This is like, as you're going off on this, I've heard this before from other people too who are into cards, but it hurts the brain a little bit, but I think people have to realize that, and CGC is gonna screw things up, I think, even more, because they're gonna start moving the playing field a little bit. They're gonna want to do what PSA, and I'll tell you, that's a good thing. If CGC, the industry leader, is going to start bending the knee or bending their rules to kind of do more what PSA is doing, what's that telling us? And again, I told Elizabeth this over at PSA. I love this. Just do your thing, man. Whatever CGC is doing, let them do what they're doing. You do what you're doing. You tread your path. I love that.
Yeah,
that's why.
So
the labels, love the label. Keep the labels the way they are. Do your own thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I'm getting more used to the labels. I really don't care for the red. I like blue personally, but whatever. So like PSA is a massive company, and one of the what happened to CGC is their parent company got bought out by like BlackRock, Blackstone, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And at the very height of the comic book boom, when they were getting so many orders, all this kind of stuff. But since then, it literally has only gone down, the amount. And so, they're not happy with CGC. But I mean, there's not much you can do. They could branch out. I mean, they have a bunch of other grading. They grade like coins. They grade also cards.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, I know they're not really happy with how it's turned out. But I think what will happen is CGC will all of a sudden, you'll start seeing more 9.9s come out from CGC. The 10s probably you'll see more, but not that much more. I think what will end up happening is a PSA 10 will probably be equivalent of a CGC 9.9, and a CGC 10 will probably be like the Beckett 10, where it's worth way more.
Well, that's it. And people just have to understand that each company's grading standards are not the same. And that's all there is to it.
Because what's funny is the way they come up with their grading standards is they started with a small group of people.
Yep.
And those small group of people put in their input on how to grade. So their grading standards are based off a small group of people. Now, my dad was actually one of those small group of people from CGC.
Right.
And now he's at PSA.
But he was CGC, I guess, was
he never worked at CGC, but when they first were starting, they asked for like advisories type of thing. So, whether they took his input or how much they used of it or whatnot, that is that. Because back in the day, they used to have the Overstreet price guide, and my dad was an advisor on the Overstreet price guide. And so I think when the CGC started, they asked a bunch of Overstreet advisors. But yeah, they started, he advised them. Whether they took it, I have no idea. But yeah, so it all comes down to someone chooses, this is how we're going to do things. So it's on that one person. So the grading is subjective to that one or a handful of people.
Right.
So,
You know, I think as long as the customer service is good at PSA, it stays strong, and the product stays strong, they'll have a fight. I mean, they're fetching the same money, if not more, currently, aren't they? Than
yeah,
CGC
I
books.
think getting more is, I don't know for sure, but
Mhm.
I think it's like kind of like a novelty, like, oh, this is like the first one's graded. This is
Sure.
basically, there's the, basically the first. So it's like, oh, I want to have that. Where's it going to be in 6 months to a year? Are they going to go for the same price? My guess, I mean, I hope, I don't know, but my guess is they'll probably go around for the same price. I think when it comes to certain books, though, I think CGC will command more. So if you have high-end Silver Age or something like that. Like, I can't see a world where you have a AF-15 and a 9.0 and it's selling for the same as a PSA versus a CGC, just because CGC's been around so long. I think also like Golden Age stuff, I think those collectors will probably pay more for a CGC book. I think where you're going to see more close in price is probably newer collectors that are more into modern bronze and copper. I think
Right.
that where those books are plentiful. But when it comes to like more rare, high end, and older, I think CGC will probably sell for more. And the biggest thing is how fast will they sell? Because as a dealer, the reason why I didn't ever use CBCS or PGX, I tried them out, is because they wouldn't move. Like, even if the pricing was less than a CGC book,
Wow.
it just wouldn't sell. It would sit forever, just forever. And it's because people just didn't want them. So that's going to be another thing. It's like, okay, they might go for the same price, but how fast do they sell? Oh, I get a CGC book, sells, say a Hulk 181. Oh, and a certain grade sells within 2 weeks. A PSA on average sells a month. So that's a big factor. I don't know.
That's a good point too. I remember when CBCS first came out, everyone again was very excited about it,
Mhm.
and everyone was jumping on board with it. And after about a year of CBCS, what I found people really liked CBCS for was for Golden Age books. A lot of my clients who were into Golden Age were happy to send their books to CBCS for Golden Age. And I think a big part of that was the fact that there was no purple label, there was no green
Mhm.
label. The books came back with just a notation of restored,
That's
and
how PSA is.
yeah, exactly. And a lot of my clients, I'll tell you, it's slow going with the PSA currently. I got guys saying, yeah, I want it, but I mean, I'm still getting 85, 90, actually more, like 90%, 95% CGC. People are starting to ask for PSA, but it's slow. It's
Yeah,
slow.
this is my suggestion. Um, I mean, it's the downside. Like, a lot of people, um, so there's like I don't know how to word this correctly. There's like a downside to having my dad work there, and the downside is everyone thinks we're in like cahoots, and I'm like, no, that not at all. Like, there's such a massive company. He has to answer to so many different people, but it's kind of like annoying. But and I hate like saying like native, like pretty much I've been saying like, hey, I think CGC probably will command more. Maybe this is, a novelty at the beginning. I mean, I'm not saying, oh yeah, go PSA all the way. But
Sure.
what I do tell people is like, if you had a Silver Age key, let's say you had an X-Men one, my honest opinion, because I always tell people what I would do, I would send that to CGC. I just would. If I have a 9.8 or better, I think I'm sending that to PSA. So I'm doing it myself and every customer. I'm like, look, if you
Mhm.
have something that's a 9.8 and could be a chance to get higher, I'm sending the PSA all day long. Why? Because they're going to give you that 10.0, possibly. Like, say out of 100, I just sent like 300 books for a customer, and all of them were 9.8s. And I was like, send it to PSA. That's what I'm doing, because if you get a couple of them come back 10s, it's definitely worth it. But because CGC doesn't really even do 10s. But if you have like I said, Silver Age key, um, I'm probably not going to take the risk, and I'm going to send that to CGC. That's how I would do it.
Hey, look, they're both tool. I mean, they're both grading companies. These are tools in your toolbox. You can use CGC, you can use PSA, you can use any of them. I
Yeah.
have guys that use PGX for a lot of their stuff too. Believe it or not, they do. Because PGX will do certain things. I remember a friend of mine, a local guy, had a Superman #1, and it was all kind of torn apart. And he asked CGC, could you just kind of place it? Like, can you kind of place the cover a certain way so it looks, and they wouldn't do it because it was kind of falling apart. And he wasn't, he goes, send it to PGX. He talked to, I think it's Daniel at PGX, and over the phone, and he said, could you just kind of arrange the cover so it kind of at least appears nicer? No problem at all. So he went with PGX because he worked with them, So
yeah,
again,
they're smaller, so they're easier to work with. So like in cards, I know you don't know cards too well, but there's there's Beckett, there's PSA, and there's SGC. SGC recently got bought by PSA, but they all are different, and I use all three for all different reasons.
Right.
It's like Beckett's a little looser on the corners, so if you have a card that has a nice surface, but maybe the corners aren't the best, send it to Beckett. SGC I use because on vintage stuff because they are the most accurate at grading, and they have a good turnaround time.
Yep.
And they're getting good prices, the same as PSA. On newer, quote, modern cards, I'm using PSA, especially if I think I can get a 10. So I think comic book people are in this like one camp only. And I think with PSA, they're going to realize that it's like you can branch out and you can use both for different things. Maybe going forward, anything you think is a 9.8 and above, you're going to send to PSA. Well, maybe anything that's like super high value, a key, you're sending that to, CGC. So I think there's just going to be like a split between the two companies, and it's going to take a while for PSA to convince people that, hey, you can use both companies.
Well, and the fact that you're saying that is really quite good too. I mean, like you said, your dad works for them now. He's like, I think, is he head grader over there at PSA?
Yeah. Well, he's like the head of the comic book division.
Right. So, I mean, even with your pop being there, you're still sending books to CGC, right?
Yeah, I'm still sending. I just sent off a batch not too long ago. So that's why people like. I'm like, you do realize I use both. I just use them for different reasons.
Yeah, and you're a dealer, and that makes sense. Now, the one thing I think from a collector's point of view, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong here, I think a lot of people are hesitant because all my books on display are CGC. Now I'm going to have these red ones. It's going to clash.
Oh yes, yeah. People. That's why I think. I think it's going to take a while. I think the older collectors are not going to move over. Like, I just don't think they will. It's going to take the younger collectors, the people that have like, they don't mind it. Also, a lot of people that are into cards and they have PSA graded cards.
Yeah.
They're going to, I'm just going to send my comics because there is a lot of overlap. A lot of people do both. So yeah, I especially with like those Marvel cards, you have a Marvel card, you also have like, Marvel comics. For sure. So I think there's going to be, it'll be interesting. Where's PSA going to be? There's going to be around, but where are they going to be comic wise in like 2 years? That'll be the interesting ththing.
I still think they're going to dominate the magazines. I think once their magazines are going and all the Sports Illustrateds and stuff, I think I think it's going to be a banger for sure.
Yeah.
To me, I right away, I'm like, oh man, it just kind of goes natural, right? I think it works. So
I got a Sports Illustrated #1 from 1954 or 58. I can't remember.
Okay.
And I had a 9.8. I sold it. I thought it'd be worth way more. I sold it for $3,500, which is great. But I just thought like Sports Illustrated #1. I think they're still making the magazine. I mean, a Playboy #1 is worth tens, like in a 9.8, it's worth like probably $100,000 or more.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's be honest. The Sports Illustrated #1 is not a nice looking book. It's just kind of bad. It's kind of blah, right? It's just kind of
I mean, I can't remember who's on the cover. Probably like a Mickey Mantle or something.
No. I gotta check now. It's not. It's very boring.
It's a guy with it's a green. He's at the hitting the bat, and in the ball.
Let's see. Oh yeah. It's like a baseball cover.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a shot of it. It's kind of, I don't know.
Well, the cameras weren't that good, so it was a little pixelated and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not a very nice looking book. I don't know. It's like, it reminds me of, in the comic world, the first Doctor Strange, strange what do you call
Strange Tales 110 with Pop Paste Pete.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the ugliest looking.
Terrible. Yeah. Just the worst villain. I mean, here you are, the Human Torch, and you're getting stalked by this guy that shoots paste.
Another rant. Here we go.
And it's just like, I'm glad that, people like Neil Adams, when he came on, that's what people don't realize. Like Neil Adams, Danny O'Neill, is they grew up around comic books And when they got older, they were like, let's make comics for adults because we're adults now and we deal with real problems. We don't have like the 50s. Oh my gosh, the superhero 50 stuff. They're doing like basically going the opposite because they had the whole like code authority, comics code authority. And they're like, let's do the exact opposite. Let's not have any violence and not do anything bad. We don't want to get shut down. And so they're going this like tippy-toeing through things. And so when Neil Adams, Denny O'Neil came out and they started doing a little more adult-oriented stuff, and just got rid of the stupidness, kid stuff. That's
the 1950s Superman and Batman is almost like the 1966 Batman series, just corny and
bad. Oh, the best one is, I always rant about this, is I don't remember what it was in Action Comics. Superman is like trying to drink water out of a drinking fountain and he turns it to gold. And he has like the Midas touch where everything he touches turns to gold. And I'm like, this is stupid. And so I had to read it. So I'm reading and there's this part where this kid wants Superman's autograph. And so he grabs his shiny red pen to sign this piece of paper and he gives the pen back to the kid and he turned it to gold. The kid starts crying because he turned his shiny red pen into gold. Now, I don't know if it's gold coloring or actually gold, but that kid shouldn't be crying. He should be leaping for joy because now that pen is probably worth, I don't know, in today's money, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know how much a pen weighs, but now it's all gold. And instead he's crying and runs away and he says he's the worst ever. And I'm like, it's so stupid. Why? Like, can you imagine writing that? And like, you're an adult and you're writing this and you're like, oh,
they thought that they knew that their audience was, 7 years old, 8 years old.
Yeah, but the crazy thing, it wasn't, because the war covers did super well because the troops that were overseas those weren't kids. They're like late teens, early 20s, and they wanted to read them. So they knew their audience was definitely at least somewhat older, not just all kids. So yeah, I don't know.
I guess the comics didn't grow up with the people. They kind of reverted a little bit, And, they changed. They want to change the demographic. Who's it for, right? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It was this,
kind of like Star Wars today. Who's Star Wars for today? Is it for me? Like I was 7, 8 years old when Star Wars came out, but I'm sorry, the Star Wars is coming out now ain't for me.
So that's what my next video is. I'm gonna rant about that. I'm just like, they had like this article come out and they're like, we need new IP that are geared towards young men. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You literally have Star Wars and Marvel. Like that's 100% geared towards young men. That's literally what it is. That's all of us when we were young. That's what we watched. And now we are comic collectors, Star Wars fans, whatever it is. That's what we watched. It was all for boys. The problem is they wanted to turn it for women, and women are like, I don't care about that. That's like, imagine going to the Kardashians, which is like, I don't know if it's a huge show anymore, and going to the Kardashians, like, you know what demographic we don't have is we don't have the male demographic. We need to start getting more males to watch your show. And so they put in whatever males like, and you couldn't, but they don't like reality shows that much. So it's just like, it's so stupid. Just like,
Love Island is a good example. My wife and daughter watch Love Island. It's terrible, but it's for them.
Island. Is that the one where they all just get drunk and bang each other?
Yes. It's all ridiculous.
They always fight. They get drunk. Yes. And then they fight all the time.
Like 6 couples sleep in one giant room. It's orgiastic type.
My wife watches The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City or something.
Yeah, my mom watches those ones. It's like, come on.
And it's like, all they do is fight. And the whole show is they're just fighting and then reconciling. And I'm like, this adds nothing to your life. Why do you even watch this? Mindless television.
It's funny. Yeah. I went on my film class today. I did a whole rant on Star Wars. I always do. Every year in my film class, I do a rant on Star Wars. The most popular, most powerful IP absolutely ruined. Absolutely. It was higher than it was more I think more valuable than Marvel at one point.
It was bought for I think the same amount of money, but
$4.6 billion, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Marvel's much more vast, but yeah, it's crazy how they destroyed it. And the thing is, yeah, you can make a show like Star Wars. They're like, oh, I'm trying to make it for kids or whatever. It's like, that's the thing. Is like, I watched Star Wars, the originals, when I was a kid. We had them on Laserdisc. Mm-hmm. I remember my dad came home with Laserdisc, and I loved them then. So it's not like you have to be an adult to understand. It's like, you make a good movie and you have things in there that like kids will like it. They will dislike it. And then adults will like it. And then everyone will like it. But then if you make these, oh my gosh.
No, it's terrible.
I had to turn off. I didn't even watch the third one whatever the rise of the
Oh, it was so
Skywalker.
bad. I went. It was so bad. It was so. I sat there. My daughter knew I had absolute disdain for it, but I had to finish it. And I'm sitting there
Oh,
just
not
shaking
me.
my head just shaking my head, going, "What the fuck are they doing?" Pardon my French. I was so upset.
Was it the second one, the one where Luke just dies?
Oh, it just
I forget what the second one was called, but I've watched Force Awakens and I'm like, there's some issues I have with it, whatever. The second one comes out and I'm just angry the entire time, and I'm like, this is so bad. You're ruining everything, and it's like it's not just like, oh, it's just a bad movie. It's just like they purposely ruin things, and I'm like, I don't like this. I'm not even gonna watch the third one. I'll just get more angry. There's no point. And
you've
that's
never
where I
watched
was.
it. You've never watched a third one?
The whatever the one with Ray, not
Yeah, the
not
Rise of
original.
Skywalker garbage. Yeah,
Yeah. I never watched. I just refuse. I'm just gonna get mad, and I've seen a couple scenes from it, clips and stuff, but I'll just get mad. And what it just made me. I did that, and I watched a couple of the other. What was that? The Obi-Wan,
Awful,
where
awful.
the kid's like running
Yeah,
around, and I'm like,
terrible,
you're trained
terrible.
assassins. Why can't you get this little kid? What am I watching here? This
Yeah,
is so
that was Ben
stupid.
Kenobi was terrible. It was
Yeah.
terrible,
And so I stopped watching that. I also watched the Book of Boba Fett, and I
terrible.
was so excited for Boba Fett. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what is what is this? He's talking about like it's like all this like politics stuff, and he's so wimpy. Just I'm like,
it
you
was
got
awful.
out of the pit, the Scarlet, no, it's
The Sarlacc pit. Yeah,
Scarlet pit.
yeah.
And then you got out of the pit, and now you're just like some I don't know what happened to you. You're not a
Yeah, with the
trained
sand
professional.
people, and now he's all redefined and just
Yeah.
terrible, terrible. It was absolute trash. The only ones I've liked, or when I say liked, come on, is the first couple of seasons of Mandalorian. I enjoyed.
Mandalorian 1 and 2, I did love. I
When
love
Luke
those.
Skywalker came, this eye, they teared up. I can tell you straight up, they
Yeah.
teared up. But then that third season, what the frig?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with that. I stopped watching it. I got to this point in my life where it's like, if things are just gonna be bad and make me mad, I'm just gonna avoid them and just stop
Yeah,
watching them. And
yeah,
that's where I'm at with Marvel.
me too.
Is I just, I used to, okay, the next one's gonna be good, or
Yep,
this TV show is gonna be good,
yep,
and you try to get through it and try to see the positive in it. And then I got to this point where I was just angry, and then I'd hate watch them just to make content. And then
no,
I got to a point where I'm like, I don't even want to waste my time. Like, I don't even care about the content. I'm just not even gonna watch them. Like,
yeah,
I didn't watch Captain America 4. I didn't.
terrible.
I watched Thunderbolts only because I was stuck on a plane for like 10 hours. So I was like, whatever, I'll watch it. And I thought, I'm like, dude, you're trying too hard to make every scene a joke. And then on top of that, the end fight scene, I get what they're going for. And it's like, oh, it's cool, it's different. But it's like, I want you to battle. You're not even battling. You hugged it out at the end. You literally gave him a hug, and everyone like gave him a hug. And I'm like, this is not a superhero movie. This would be fine if it's some indie movie, but not a superhero movie. You get Sentry out there, and it's just like, I don't know. Everything just made me. It's like, it's dumb.
Yeah, you kind of feel the same way. I get angry about the whole thing. I stopped watching all those Disney Plus shows. I stopped my subscription to Disney Plus. I just had enough's enough.
I kept it because every Black Friday they do like for $1 a month you can get or $2 a month you get Hulu and whatever Disney Plus, and I wanted to keep it so I could watch Alien Earth because I like Aliens, that franchise.
I
And
heard
so
the new
then
one's pretty good. Is it true? You watched that new series?
I've seen 2 episodes, and then my card was expired. So now they keep on texting me like, you need to. I was like, oh,
Get your card.
But yeah, I have to put in my new card number because it expired, because they're like, $2 has been it has not gone through. And I'm like, okay. But
Here you
yeah,
go.
I've liked it so far. The budget is ridiculous. I feel like I'm watching a movie.
Wow, I check that out.
Yeah, there's one thing that bugs me is like having the kids. I don't really like the kids. And they can never do kids correctly in movies or TV shows other than it. Like, amazing. Bravo for those. And also the later seasons of Stranger Things. Those kids are great. But for the most part, I understand they're young. They're inexperienced. And I give them a
I
pass.
tell you, it was a really, speaking of it, what a disappointment that sequel was, though. That
Oh, yes. The first was so good. I don't even
I
like
was
horror.
so excited.
I don't even like horror, but I watched that first one and I was like, this is fantastic. I've never seen anything like this. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then the second one, I was like, you get adult actors too. All the actors I loved. And I was like,
Yes, and it sucked.
yeah, letdown.
And you know what came out the exact same time as it too? and didn't do had no traction at all, and was fantastic. Was Doctor Sleep. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I have not. Is that the sequel to The Shining, right?
Unbelievable! It was freaking amazing.
I have
And
not
I'm
seen
like,
that one.
no one's talking about this movie. It's getting totally, ignored because of It Too. And It Too, like I said, was really disappointing. And Doctor Sleep was actually pretty dark. Well, obviously it's just Shining, pretty dark shit. But there's a lot of callbacks to the original. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if you've liked The Shining,
Well, if you haven't seen the original Shining by now,
well,
I think you can spoil it.
So believe it or not, some probably haven't, but go check that out and then watch, because Doctor Sleep, man, it connects. It connects.
I'll have to check that out. Is it more horror elements or more sci-fi?
Oh, horror. It was and dark shit going on. Like I don't even say what's happening because I don't want to ruin it, but there's some things that happen with kids in it, which is kind of disturbing, but it was good. And it was Ewan McGregor too. It was actually quite good.
Ewan McGregor is in one of my favorite movies of all time, Trainspotting.
Oh, frick, Trainspotting was awesome. And Begbie was my favorite character.
Yeah. Then the sequel that was awful. I wish I never even watched it. Would have wasted.
Yeah, I never watched that.
Yeah, don't bother. But my favorite movie of all time, you can only watch one time because once you watch it once, you know everything, is The Game with Michael Douglas, Sean Penn.
I never seen that. The Game.
Yeah. David Fincher is the director. If you haven't seen The Game, you have to watch it. It came out in 1995.
Okay.
Michael Douglas, Sean Penn. Do you like twisty movies?
Of course.
Okay, this is the twistiest of all twisties. This is the best one. I absolutely love this movie. And I love showing it to the people that have never seen it before because I already know everything.
Sure.
But
you want to see the reaction, right?
Yeah, I want to see the reaction. I love that movie.
Well, listen, one more comment, and I'm going to let you go because it's already been almost an hour, and you had to get going. But Dana wants to know what you think. And okay, let's keep this quick because this could be another hour. Curious to hear Dave's thoughts about DCU so far with Superman and Peacemaker.
So Superman, I liked Superman. I didn't love Superman. I felt with Superman, I felt like they could have had a couple scenes that had a little more heart to it, a little more impact. I like to feel my movies when I'm watching them. So that was like my really only complaint. They could have tugged on the heartstrings a little more, which I was hoping they would do. But I thought Mr. Terrific was, lack of a better word, terrific. He was like, I thought Guy Gardner was pretty good. Hawk Girl was useless with that scream.
It was that same scream. I said it. The same scream they use in Cobra Kai when the Hawk guy would jump up.
Yeah. That was a great first season, by the way. Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai is fantastic.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai is how you bring back a series or bring back an IP.
Yes.
I tell you, I said, why couldn't Star Wars have those guys? Because they would have saved it. You know, don't piss and shit all over your legacy characters. Elevate them, and then let us get used to the supporting characters, so we start caring about them, and then you can kind of be a little more lax on the main characters, and let the young people take over.
Yeah, you don't need to, in order to build up your new characters, bring the old ones down.
No, you got to celebrate.
They both can be up.
But all we wanted was Luke, Leia, and friggin' Han in one more adventure. That's all we wanted.
Yeah, and not them to be so terrible, just awful. And they were never all on screen together.
No, it was terrible.
And Carrie Fisher died in real life, so I thought when she died in the second one, and then it is, oh no, she's alive. She has this new force power. I'm like, why didn't you just kill her off right there? Like the actual actress is dead. Like that didn't make any sense. But anyways, back to Superman.
Yeah.
I want to see where they take it. I'm hopeful, optimistic that, it's going to be, James Gunn does pretty good job. Man, Guardians 3, put some animals in there and they tugged on my heartstrings the whole time. Yeah. So, I liked Crypto. I'm very curious where he goes with it. I wish, to me, like Man of Steel was a little too serious and this one was a little too, I guess, fun, jokey. And it needs a perfect blend. And I thought, a perfect blend of is if you just go back and watch the original Superman,
100%.
Christopher Reeves. That's like the perfect blend. There's a little bit of campiness in there, a little bit of jokiness, but when it gets serious, it gets serious. With the new Peacemaker, I loved the first season. This season, it's up and down. The first 2 episodes, didn't really care about. The third episode that I watched, I'm on episode 3, I thought was really, really good. So I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go, but it's not as good as the first season, in my opinion.
Let me ask about Superman. If you had to sit down right now and watch Man of Steel or the new Superman, which one would you watch?
I'd watch the Christopher Reeves one.
No, you can't watch that one.
Can't watch that one.
Man of Steel, Zack Snyder, or James Gunn. If you had to, right now, pop one in the DVD player.
I think Henry Cavill is better Superman. I like him better as Superman. General Zod, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah, it'll come to me in a second.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name. I'm sure someone in the chat. Whatever he plays, I love the actor. He, I thought, was great. I thought they had the elements of something really great, but like in Man of Steel, when Kevin Costner is just like, "Don't save me," I'm like, he could be back in there so quick. Like the thing that made the Christopher Reeves dad death scene so great was the fact that he couldn't beat whatever he had. He had like a heart attack. There's nothing he could do. He couldn't do anything. The fact that his dad died like that, it's just like all the power. What's his line? He's like, with all the power in the world that I have, I couldn't even save him.
Right.
Like, that is a good
and that
line.
hits you.
Yeah, it's a great line, and it just impacts. Like, yes, he's super powerful, and he can't save everyone. But with Kevin Costner, like, oh, we'll do the same thing, but it's a tornado. It's like, no, I don't want people to know who you are. And I'm like, he would be there so quick, no one would even know.
Exactly.
No one would even know. It's like, oh, it's so stupid. Like, and Kevin Costner is a great actor. I like him, but it's just like, just like a waste. You could just like, so what if you have to copy and do the heart attack scene? It doesn't matter. You're doing it for
give him some other ailments. There's lots of ailments. Oh my God.
Yeah. Could have cancer.
But hold on. But again, you didn't give me an answer. So you'd watch Man of Steel then. Sounds like.
They all have their different things. There's things I love and there's things that I hate. I don't know. That's, to me, it's the action's better in Man of Steel. The jokes are better in Superman. The heart and some of the actors are better in Man of Steel, but then some of them are better. There's some chemistry that's better than in Superman. I feel like it's a toss up, honestly.
Really?
Maybe the movie. There's a lot of things I could not stand about, like the Lex Luthor in. I like Beast, whatever his name is. Yeah.
Forget Michael Shannon was Zod, by the way. Thanks.
Yeah, Michael Shannon. Whatever the Beast guy is.
The guy from X-Men there. Yeah.
I like him. I thought he looked like Lex Luthor, and I thought there's a lot of elements that were cool. But the stupid thing where he's like 1A, 2B.
Yeah.
If this guy's Superman or a clone, he should react like that. You're telling me that you memorized all these lines, and then you tell someone to then type it in a little control, and then the guy does it. I'm like, he's fighting Superman. Superman's so fast, you wouldn't even have time. So I was like, this whole thing is just dumb. It's just really, really dumb. Like, there's a bunch of different elements they could have done that would have been better. But yeah, I don't know. It's a tough. What about you?
Man of Steel.
Man of Steel? Do you think it's like far and away better?
No, not far and away better. I agree with all the things you just said. I thought the death of Kevin Costner. When I first time I saw it, I thought that was the stupidest thing I ever saw. I did not like how blue the movie was. It was too cold. The film was very cold, and I'm all about colors in films, and the mood.
Yeah, the new Superman is much more colorful. I like
100%, and I get why they did that. Dark Knight came out. You had Christopher Nolan's movies, and they were all dark, and so they, Zach kind of jumped on board with that whole look and that feel. A little bit too much, but I loved Henry Cavill as Superman. I preferred his suit. I thought his suit was actually really slick and cool.
Yeah.
I liked it better later in the Shazam when you said it's kind of a little bit brighter. You could do that, right?
Yeah.
But I like a good origin story, and I liked like this flashbacks. He was a kid, and the kids are picking on him. I like that. Like when you mentioned Christopher Reeve, most of that movie is his origin, and it's him with that football, pissed off. The kids are going out and hanging out, and he can't go, and he can't show off.
Yeah,
and kicks the football like 25 miles.
It had way more heart. Even though the special effects of the day weren't very good, the movie is just a much more polished movie.
Yeah.
Much like, even the acting was really good. Like, it was just, I think this all around, that Superman Christopher Reeves, it was much better. And it's like, it's not like I have blinders on because it's the first one I watched, because I can tell you that the later Superman movies from Christopher Reeves were not nearly as good. Yes, they were pretty bad.
Number 4 was terrible. Quest for Peace.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Did you see the deleted scenes where they had Bizarro in that?
Think I did. I've seen all kinds of stuff, but they're really bad. Like, no,
Yeah.
you have what's his face, Richard Pryor in the third one there.
Yeah. Which is,
Oh,
they made so much money. You'd think that they would go away from the campy and this did what worked and, make them more the serious. Zack Snyder to me he's really good at visuals. Like some of his shots that he has are straight from a comic book and invoke a lot in you. But as a story writer coming up with new creative things, he is trash. Just straight up trash. I'm sorry. Like 300, great, but that's from comic book because he's copying. Watchmen, fantastic movie. I love the Watchmen.
I like it too, yeah.
But he did a shot for shot of the book. And the reason why it's so good is because the book is so good.
Mhm.
The graphic novel, the comic book, whatever. But man, when he did Superman, Batman v Superman, his creative choices in that movie were beyond stupid. I could not believe how bad I could not stand that movie. I will not watch that movie ever again. Other than seeing Batman in the warehouse scene, great. Fight scene, fantastic. But
See, I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I thought
he was great. I thought he was great. He's given a terrible script. Like the fact that he was it like Lois Lane, he's about to kill. Oh, sorry, Batman's about to kill Superman, and he says Martha, and he's like, "Who's that?" "That's my mom." "Oh, okay, this dumb." And then Lois Lane throws the stick away, and then she's like, "Oh no, I need the stick," and then goes back. "Oh no, I'm trapped."
yeah.
And then Superman helped me. And then the way they dealt with Doomsday was just so stupid, and it's like everything. I'm just going,
I don't not like you, and things like that. It was just bad. I mean, yeah, it was corny, right? And yeah, they made some missteps for sure. Again, I don't know. I don't know how. When I saw this latest Superman, I wasn't. I love the casting. I mean, I thought they all did a great job. They're all fine. They're all great. I like what's her face is Lois Lane and all that. But I don't know. I left there thinking, okay, that was fine. It was my son loved it. My son loved it. My kids loved it. I just thought it was fine. Good. All right, sure.
And it could be that maybe I have super low expectations because I've been burned by comic book movies recently. So it's like, okay, just do an okay job and you get a pass.
And I mean, I don't want to go to the Fantastic Four, but the same thing. I felt very similar after that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I gave it the same. I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I liked the fact that they did way more sci-fi.
Yeah.
It was way more sci-fi, but all they really needed was a really cool fight scene with all four of them. And I think that would have brought it home for me to make it that much better. And I know the perfect place where they're in Galactus's ship and they're running back to their ship and the Silver Surfer is chasing him. If they would have done a 3-minute fight with them, because again, Silver Surfer is not going to die. So there would have been no consequences where you need a bunch of minions to beat up, and they could have used their powers. Very cool. 3-minute fight scene, super awesome, where people are like, oh, blown away how cool it was. And that was it, because the end fight scene wasn't really an end fight scene. It was like, I don't know, nothing really.
I thought they were going to end up on a different dimension there. They were coming back, and I thought they were going to end up somewhere and something.
Yeah, because they end up in, at the end of Thunderbolts, they end up in whatever, Earth 626 or whatever the Earth is.
But is that them? We never saw that. So
it shows their ship. So.
Right. Everyone's saying it's Dr. Doom. Again, I don't know. Listen, I got 3 boxes to share. Dave, we could talk for the next 2 hours, and you got places to go. Hey, if you want to talk movies, you want to come up here and shoot the shit about it, and you want to complain about Star Wars, sign me up. I love it. Nothing more I like to do. Trust me.
Yeah, it is fun to rant.
I love it. And movies are my favorite thing to do. And I do like to complain a lot about what's happening lately because
I think it's
so unfair.
I think what it is you have a lot of passion for these IPs or whatever it is. And when they do the characters dirty or they have just egregious missteps, that's when I think people get upset. It's nothing. It's like, oh, the movie just wasn't very good. It's like they purposely make it bad and add in all these things. You're like, oh, what is this? Why would you do that? Terrible decision.
Yeah, it is frustrating when you know that you yourself could probably do a better job with coming up with a storyline. That's and the thing that also sucks is they have an abundance of resources and people they can tap on the shoulder to check these things out before they release them. You know, like just all you got to do is go to your local comic store.
I know.
Right? We talk about it at my shop every Saturday. Like Dannon's on here. We've had many conversations about.
I'll do it for free. Just have me come in and be like, change this, this, and this, and this.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys, you're screwing up here. Change this, change that, change this, and you're golden. But yeah, it's a real.
Have you seen? There's a show on Apple TV called The Studio with Seth Rogen.
No, I don't have. We don't have Apple. The one thing we don't have.
So, so the show is basically he's a studio executive, and he's trying to run a studio, and it's very fast paced. And what he did was Seth Rogen's like all the stuff that happens behind the scenes at like real Hollywood studios.
Right.
He said they're so ridiculous that he just decided to make a show about that, a fictitious character and studio going through all these problems. And watching it, you're like, I don't see how they get anything done, anything accomplished. No wonder like Hollywood is in such despair, is because all of these decisions that they make. So they're making a Kool-Aid movie because this guy is like, he's the head of the studio, but he wants to make this artsy, really good film. But the people that have the money, they're like, no, we need a good IP. Barbie made $1 billion, so we bought Kool-Aid. So you have to make a Kool-Aid movie. So he's trying to get like real directors, and they're trying to sign up for it, but then they realize what it's going to be and whatever. So they're trying to cast, and them going about how they're casting everyone. They're like, oh no. So they have this white family, and then the Kool-Aid people are voiced by these black people, and then they're like, wait, there's something wrong here. And then they're like, we can't have black people in Kool-Aid. That's racist, right? And so they're going around trying to ask all these people. And so then they keep on mixing around and putting all these races everywhere. And like pretty soon, like they have a kid that's like, Asian, but the parents aren't Asian at all, and like all this kind of stuff. And so then they go through this. So it's like, okay, let's look at the population. Okay,
oh my God,
0.13% are Jewish. Okay, so we need someone that's like partly Jewish, and like all like checking all these. It's hilarious how they go about doing this stuff. And I'm like, I can see why they have such issues, because they're trying to.
But it's so
check
true.
all boxes.
Look at every commercial you see nowadays. You have like Hispanic father, an Asian mother. And a black kid.
Yep.
How's that possible?
Literally,
they adopt them, maybe. I guess I don't know. Like, but they do that. The demographics, they're so tied to it nowadays. It's kind of scary that they're forced to do this. But what's that show called? I'm gonna write that down. Seth Rogen's
called
show.
The Studio.
The Studio. I gotta check that out.
It's just really fun. I think that was like the 5th or 6th episode, but it's pretty funny. They just get into a bunch of like hijinks and all the issues that they have to go through with running the studio. And that episode always stuck out to me because I'm like, I bet you this actually happened in a boardroom. Like, because it's them talking the whole time and then going around and asking people, like they go up to like some black people, like, is it okay if we have to, like, no, you can't do that. They're like, oh, it's racist. And like, are you sure? Why is it racist? I don't know, but it is.
Oh man, it's terrible. It's good though. Good fun.
Yeah.
Dave, where can people find you on YouTube? Where the heck? I'm going to put this information down below, but you can tell them now. Where can they find you on YouTube? Where can they find your auction site so they can sell or their comics with you guys?
Yeah, collectorscomics.com is our auction site. I'm on YouTube, Comic Book Investments, and Comic Book Investments Unhinged. This is the kind of stuff to be on the Unhinged stuff channel. Yeah, and then Instagram or Collectors Comics on Instagram. I have my own personal Instagram, Love Angeles Music.
That's right.
But yeah,
and check out Dave's music. It's pretty darn good. I did listen to it. It was on my Spotify there. Love Angeles. Mm-hmm. And yeah, well, you know what? Hey, if I ever talk about movies, I know who to tap on the shoulder.
I don't know like too many movies. I mean, I've seen a lot, but like the ones I'm more passionate about, I have a lot to say.
If you're a film fan,
yeah,
that's all I need.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Listen, thanks so much. Do appreciate you dropping by and spending this much time with us. I know you have places to go and people to meet. So,
all right. Thank you. Later.
Take care. All the best.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys. Dave from Comic Book Investments is now gone. And thanks for popping by, Dave. That was great. I will put all of his information down below. So if you want to get on over there and try out their service, hey, 5% to sell your comics with them. Or if you sell the comics yourself, you do all the work yourself, guess what? It's free. What more do you want? Okay, I got a lot of comics to share. So I know Bad Hombre was chomping at the bit there. He might not even be here still, but let's see what we got. We got some magazines. and we got some comics. Let's start with some comics. How about that? So, all right. Well, look at that. I always like starting with 9/8, friends. Amazing Spider-Man 365, first appearance of Spider-Man 2099 in a 9.8. We have a She-Hulk #1 from 1989, the John Byrne issues in a 9.4. We have another 9.8. That's good to see. A Spider-Man #1 hip-hop variant cover in a 9.8. What else? We have a 9.0 Wolverine #1. Haven't seen one of these in a little while. A newsstand edition. In a 9.0 with the Wolverine custom label. Kind of looks nice with that label, actually. Hey, Robert, how's it going? Right, we have a Black Panther #1 in a 9.6. Trevor has a question. On average, how long does it take for books to come back from a Signature Series event at CGC? If Luke is still here, sometimes it could take up to a year. What the hell? Oh my! Just dropped my mouse, guys. Sorry about that. Last year, Haley Steinfeld was, I think that's how you say her name, the lady who was in Hawkeye. She was doing a signing at CGC. We sent a book in for her to sign. It took almost a year to get that book back. So it really does depend, Trevor. They usually doesn't take that long, but it could take that long. It all depends on the talent and, when they're going to be at CGC in Sarasota. Punisher #1 in a 9.8. We have an Infinity Gauntlet. Haven't seen one of these in a while either, in a 9.6. Out of focus over. Oh, no, it's not focused there. There we go. All right. Love the unboxings, Prime says. Hope my comics come in soon. I'm going to tell you, I have another 8 boxes, guys. Every time I take, a few steps forward, more boxes arrive. So, yeah, I got a ton of, I got another 8 more to go. Oy, oy, oy. So, here I thought I was going to get ahead today, but I'll get a little bit ahead, but not as far as I'd like. Spider-Man #13 in a 9.8 with a really cool custom label there. It really looks nice, that one, actually. Yeah, Roy Thomas was August the 29th. Those books were there, but when's Roy Thomas going to actually be there? I'm sure they schedule all these things, but I'm not privy to the schedule. Sometimes talent gets sick. Sometimes talent gets held up. They can't make it there. Schedules change. When that happens, books are put into like a holding pattern until look what happened with George. It wasn't George. Oh, sorry. What's his name? Who just passed away? Jim Shooter. We sent some books in for Jim Shooter and they sat there, and then Jim Shooter unfortunately passed away. His books are still kind of in limbo, but they're going to all be returned. We've got a Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #8. And a 7.5, again with a great custom label. Very cool. We have an ASM 298, and that is a 7.5. It's a newsstand edition, again with another custom label. So yeah, lots of boxes still to share. Now again, these books here, I've sorted the books that came in yesterday. I had if you weren't here yesterday, I had a live unboxing last night as well. Yesterday afternoon. Those books have already been sorted. And I'm going to sort these ones tomorrow. Tomorrow. And then I will contact anybody whose books are completed. If you want me to mail them back to you, I can put them in queue for shipping. Or if you want to come by the shop to pick them up on Saturday or the next Saturday or the Saturday after that, all you got to do is go over to my website, thecomicdoctor.com, click on the contact tab, and there's a little button there. You click on a little blue button where you can actually make an appointment to come pick up your comics. You have to do that. You have to do that if you're coming to pick up books. I do not keep client books at the shop, completed client books at the shop. So I have to arrange them the night before, and I bring them with me on Saturday morning. So if I don't know you're coming, I will not bring your books with me. But read the text I send you. You'll see. Okay, that was the first batch of comics. I'm going to show you some really nice magazines from that box. Also, we've got a Wayne Gretzky Sports Illustrated from 82, and this is 7.0. Now, this one, it says in very fine print there, if you see this or not, it says subscription label removed. So somebody took the subscription, it wasn't us, label off. And they still nail you on that. It's right here. You can see some markings for it. I'm from the school of leaving the labels on personally, but some guys want them off and they take them off. We've got a 7.5 copy of Pro Wrestling Illustrated with the Macho Man and Elizabeth right there. The WWF magazines are extremely popular right now. Been getting lots of those. Here's another batch of wrestling ones. We've got Pro Wrestling from 1990 to 7.0. And what's cool about this one? Look at that on the back. Did you guys have any of these? I've got a few of these in the shop right now for sale. Some of those wrestling figures, pretty cool. $16.99. Boy, those were expensive back in the day. And that's from 1990. Holy cow. 30. Oh my gosh. 35 years. Only 35 years ago. Yeesh. What else do I got? More wrestling. If you're wrestling fans, you're going to love this. Hulk, the late Hulk Hogan and the late Randy Macho Man Savage. Now, these ones, I believe, these are Alex's, I think. And he did not want, if I remember correctly, he did not want these ones pressed and cleaned. He just wanted them sent in. Came back a 7. These were among the ones that were at CGC when they all of a sudden changed their turnaround time, I believe. And it became a long turnaround time. Here we've got 1988 Sports Illustrated NBA NHL playoff book in a 7.0. David Clark. I don't think it was over his face. I've never really seen that before. I guess it could have been. We've got a Sports Illustrated from 88. First Charles Barkley on the cover in an 8.5. And there's a submission label right there, subscription label. All right, what else do we have? We got those done. We've got some more Wayne Gretzky. We've got number 3 from 1984 and a 6.5. Also, the label was removed. It was right there. You can still see some of the residue from the sticker. Another Hulk Hogan mod. I forgot how popular those two guys were, and they were always at each other's throat. Randy Macho Man Savage and Hulk Hogan, right there. Here we've got a Pro Wrestling Illustrated from 89 with a close-up of Randy Macho Man Savage. Ha! They're $11.99 there. Look at that. That's cool, man. That's very cool. All right. Let's see. Did that one already. I think these two. I did that. And this one here is cool. Ultimate Warrior. The Ultimate Warrior and the Savage. He's passed away too, I think, actually. I think he's gone. Everyone's getting older. And a 7.5. I love The Undertaker. He kind of came around just after I kind of got out of it. I was kind of the Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, King Kong Bundy, the Iron Sheik. That was kind of my generation. I remember The Undertaker, but he was kind of near the end. When he was coming in, I was kind of getting out of it. But very, very cool. All right, guys, it's box number 1. We had mags and comics. Let me make sure these are okay. This one's kind of fell a little bit. Yeah, they're fine. Oh, fine. Yeah. The slip came off, though, somewhere. I'll find it later. That's good. All right. And then now we're going to go to box number 2, full box of comics. All right, what do we got? Put these away here. Okay, box number 2. Okay, we've got an ASM 316 and a 9.6. We have a Venom separation anxiety number 1 and a 9.8. We have, and this is the Sandoval variant cover. We also have another one, and this one is is it the same one or different? Oh, that's a gold one. The first one was gold. This one here is like a silver, and 9.8. We have a Secret Wars number 1 and a 5.0 direct copy. And then we have a really nice copy of Werewolf by Night 32. And that's at a 7.0. Nice copy of that. All right. We also have a Hulk 340 and a 5.0. That's a newsstand copy, I believe it is. This one had a really big rippled stain on it, and we got rid of it. But nonetheless, it's still, lots of dog ears. Being a modern book, you're going to, they're going to really hit you hard. I think I have a picture of this one on Instagram where we fixed a really, really bad like bubble or ripple on it. Here we have an Amazing Spider-Man 546 and a 9.8. And then we have J. Scott Campbell, Spider-Man 601, 9.8. Nothing wrong with that. All right, keep it moving. Nice. Hulk 16, first female Red Hulk in a 9.8. We have Amazing Spider-Man 252, direct copy in a 9.6. And then we have an X-Men 266 in a 9.6. Direct copy as well. We've got a Silver Surfer Volume 2, number 1 from 1982 in an 8.5. Here's the big one, guys. This one is the, I'm not going to sit here and complain about CGC too much, but this here is what we see on the thumbnail, X-Men number 1. And you look at it closely. It is a double cover. First cover, 2.5. The interior cover, a 3.5. And you know as well as I that when the interior cover, whatever grade the interior cover is, that's the grade that's put on the book. Now, this one was the book that I was talking about. Remember 2 weeks ago that was sent to Comic Link? Well, it came back. I was told last week they were going to ship it with all these books as a multi-ship. Well, it arrived today all by itself. Does that make the Comic Doctor happy or mad? Well, it makes me mad because I was told it was going to ship with other books. So I have to check my FedEx account now. There's a good chance they I was charged $130 for one book to be shipped back because they didn't put it in the multi-ship box. Yet another dilemma with CGC. Again, this lack of attention to detail is frustrating to say the least. I did call them about this already. They said they said that we paid for it, but let's be honest. I'm going to check that out on my own account. They did put my broker information on it, so I'm out at least $30 to $50 for brokerage fees for one book. I usually pay that for 20 to 25 books. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, unfortunately, shipping prices are going to go up because they are consistently not packing the boxes with 25 books. I'm getting anywhere from 15 to 20 books per box. So, unfortunately, comic prices are going to go up, magazine prices, not a lot, but a little bit to cover the fact that they're not filling the boxes anymore. And anyway, I can complain, and it's not happening. Bad Hombre, I've contacted them like 5 times about that the VHS tapes. And today I brought it up again, and they said you're just going to have to wait. So, it's just a very frustrating situation. We have a 9.8 copy of Deadpool, Merc with the Mouth #7, First Lady Deadpool. We have an X Factor 24, First Archangel. That's a cool book, in a 9.8 as well. CV says, are you able to reattach covers? Send me some pictures. Send me some pictures, and I can tell you what we can do. Sometimes we can do some, Newport can do some magic. It just depends on how severe the problem is. Another 365. This one's in a 9.4. Right there. We've got a Dazzler #1 in a 9.0. We have a Thing #1 Canadian price variant. Is it a John Byrne cover? No, yeah, it is John Byrne. That's what I thought. 8.0 Canadian price variant. No problem, CV. No problem. We also have Suicide Squad #1 in a 7.5. There was a time when this book was friggin' huge, I remember. Like huge. Hawkeye #1 from 1994. The long-awaited limited series is here in a 9.0. And a Spectre #1 in a 9.4. Trevor asked us, JSA do signature verification and yes, they do it on magazines and on comics. Yeah. Silver Surfer #13 in a 5.5. We have a X-Men 100 and a 5.0. And you know what? This book here, newsstand edition, this book predates Secret Wars. This book comes out in 1982. The Comic Doctor starts collecting comics in 85. And this book I thought was really cool. I always loved team-ups. I've talked about this before. And huge team-ups, I always loved it. I love seeing characters like, Black Bolt or Moon Knight or Iron Fist, mix it up with Quasar and Sasquatch and Contest of Champions. I love this book. And I think there was actually a role-playing game my buddies used to have, I remember. 8.0, this one, newsstand copy. I always loved Contest of Champions. That's a book I got to pick up in a 9.8, just for myself. Just for myself. All right, that's box #2. I was going to do 5 boxes tonight, but then I knew Dave was coming on. I wasn't sure how long Dave was going to stay. Dave was only going to stay for like 5-10 minutes to talk about his website. But then we ended up staying a little longer. Very nice guy, Dave. It was a pleasure meeting him out in San Diego at the Comic-Con this year. All right, so box #2, Benito. Box #3 is kind of a combination of magazines and comic books. I'll start with the mags first. App game called Contest of Champions. Yes, but I think there was a role-playing card game. If I remember correctly, you could play back in the 80s. Is my ASM 312 double covered back? You know what? I'm not sure. You got a bunch of stuff back. And by the way, Brian, the ASM 300 that came back in 9.8, you'll never guess whose it is. Maybe you already know. I don't know. Chad's horseshoe up his ass, I tell you, Chad. Horseshoe. Yeah, I think I tinkered with that a little bit too. It said Contest of Champions. I had to get in there. Okay. New Mutants 98. and a 9.4. So I said we're going to do magazines first, and I lied. We're doing comics first. Amazing Spider-Man 300 and an 8.0. Really nice copy of Amazing Spider-Man 194. First appearance of the Black Cat. Oh, my favorite cover is coming up right now, right there in a 9.2. X-Men 109. Love it. Love it. In a 9.2. And an 8.5, another one in an 8.5, 194. Get that nice and clear there for you. There you go. Well, that's better. Okay. All right. Now I'll do some mags, and then we'll finish up with a few comics, included some JSA comics. Wow, more. Look at these. These are pretty. Pro Wrestling. But a 7.5. This next one's really nice. Really nice. We've got a really nice Hulk Hogan comic here. And I got a feeling these are going to sell really well, if that's Alex's desire. 8.0 wrestling with Hulk Hogan in the front cover. Oh, and another one too. Wow. The Wrestler right there in a 5.0. I know the Hulk Hogan Sports Illustrated, it's pink as well, is quite popular also. If you can locate that. Did I show that one already? I think I did. Let's see. Did that one. Did that one. Did that one. Did this one. Yeah, and then we got the Ultimate Warrior right there at a 7.5. These obviously all came from the same collection because they're all coming in around 7.5. Now, again, I don't know if these ones were cleaned. And doesn't look like they were clean. So, again, would they have been improved? For sure. Could they hit a 9? Probably 8.5, maybe 9. But, you know, sometimes... it's expensive. It's expensive. So get them slabbed up, let the next guy do it if they really want to. And then last but not least, we have of the magazines, we have Indie Wrestling 1992 right there. And a 7.0 again with Macho Man Randy. Oh yeah. Oh, Trevor, you're asking about PSA? No, they don't have it yet. It's coming. It's coming. All right. Last batch. What the hell? Oh, wow. Okay. Last batch of comics. We have a 9.2 copy of 601 right here. J. Scott Campbell. We have a 9.6 copy of Secret Wars 8. Right there with a cool custom label. We have JSA's authenticated Jim Starlin authenticated signature on Strange Tales 178. First appearance of Magus. Warlock Begins in a 5.0. And where is it signed? Jim Starlin. Where the hell did he sign? Is it on the... Oh, right down here. Right down at the bottom. Right there. Right there. We have an Uncanny X-Men signed by Chris Claremont and Jim Shooter, and a 6.5 X-Men 213, and both signatures are right there. So again, what does it cost? If you have a comic with signatures like this, it's $40 to authenticate each signature. So this would have been $80 to do those two. The Jim Starlin would have been $40. So if you've got a comic with like 10 signatures on it, it's $400. And if they deem that the signature is not authentic, you're still going to get charged. All right. Last four. We have a 9.8 copy of Masters of the Universe #1 from Star Comics. Very nice. We got a Mobius Silver Surfer #1 in a 9.8. This was big. This was a big deal when it came out. Everyone was talking about this when it came out. Look at that artwork. It's pretty sick. $9.8. Oh, nice. $9.8 for number 2 as well. Come on, get in there. Right there. And then a 9.8 for Return of the Living Dead number 1 from 2024, also in a 9.8. And they're back. There you go. Getting the focus there. Holy cow. There you go. Well, that's it, guys. Yeah, it's a lot of comics. I have 3 Batman comics from the 80th panel with like 5 SIGs on it. Might get them graded. So yeah, $200 Canadian to get those looked at. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. That was a long show, longer than usual, but a half hour longer than usual. Thanks to Dave from Collectors Comics, for coming by and shooting the breeze and telling us a little bit more about their new website, their sales service. If you want more information about that, I'm going to post all of his contact details in the information section below of this video. So thanks to Dave for popping by, and thanks to you for coming by and sticking around for that hour-and-a-half show. I hope you enjoyed the show. And guys, again, if you are looking to send comics to a presser, hey, why not consider the Comic Doctor? We have a deal going on right now, and we've had it going on for a while. Hey, if you go and you pack up or send us 10 comics for pressing and cleaning, I will pay to have a shipping label sent to you. That's right. So whether you're in Florida or California or British Columbia or Nova Scotia, you submit 10 books at our website, I will ship you a shipping label and get your books to us easy peasy. And hey, if you like to have be in control of your own CGC account, you want your book sent under your own account, that's totally fine. All you have to do is print out your CGC stuff prior or with your books, and I'll send them to CGC for you. And that's pretty much it. Also, I'm going to be at the Toronto Comic Book Show on September 28th from 10 till 4. If you're in the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, come on by and say hello. If you want me to do some pre-screening for you, I'm doing that at the show as time permits. And of course, taking submissions there as well. Guys, have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week. You may see me again if time permits. I wouldn't mind doing another 3 or 4 boxes, but we will see how it goes. So until then, my friends, take care. Again, thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye for now.